Tonight on Q Weekly, for all those same-sex couples thinking of having a baby, we talk to Laura Russo from the Maybe Baby group. We then mingle, jingle and dine in benefit of the David Williams Fund at the Australian AIDS Ball. Up next is Q News.
Good evening and welcome to Q Weekly. And now for Q Weekly News this week. A Victorian lesbian-only conference has caused debate and anger in the wider community by stopping transgender women from attending. The 2004 LesFest recently applied to the Victorian Civil Tribunal and got a successful exemption from equal opportunity laws to hold the event for lesbian women who are born female only. Organisers of the event, a 7-day festival near Daylesford in January for several hundred lesbians from around Australia, said they have been asked specifically by previous attendees to maintain the space as lesbian-born female with only lesbian attendees, workshop coordinators and staff. They said that there were many other spaces in the wider community available for all women or all lesbian, and that LesFest met the needs of many of the women who attended the conference who would not attend wider community events. We are not devaluing the oppression also suffered by transgender people, merely acknowledging difference, they said in a statement to the media. We respect the rights of all other groups to meet amongst themselves for similar reasons and trust they will extend the same respect to us. A source has found that the tribunal made the decision on the basis of a number of other queer festivals available for the general attendance, as well as their belief that the exemption would enable a sense of security and well-being for those attending. But transgender activists have reacted angrily to the news and are considering launching an appeal against the decision as they see it as another form of discrimination.
I'm sure they will. Same-sex marriage recognition may have come a long way in Canada, with several provinces having made it legal to marry. However, the first gay couple married back in 2001 have been refused entry into the United States. Apparently, US Customs and Immigration pre-check people travelling to the US at most major Canadian ports. The couple were rejected after filling out a form identifying themselves as family. We could have filled out separate forms, but how much of your dignity do you want to have chipped away? We feel we had an affront to our dignity, so we decided to go back home, one of the couples said. For all the details on that story, go to www.rainbownetwork.com.
A UK researcher has alleged that gay men are deliberately seeking the HIV infection to feel more part of the community. Her views are causing a real uproar amongst HIV and medical circles at the moment. Dr. Melissa Parker, medical anthropologist at Brunel University, said many gay London men see HIV as part of the gay identity. Dr. Parker, who's studying HIV transmission and sexual networks, said many gay men were deliberately exposing themselves to get a badge of recognition of being truly gay. But AIDS organisations are outraged by her comments, saying there is no solid factual data behind the claims. A spokesman from Terence Higgins Trust said there was no evidence to support the remarks and their main effort would be to increase homophobia. Will Nutland from the Trust said that while levels of unprotected sex has increased, gay men still view HIV as a serious condition. Her comment that unprotected sex with multiple partners is the rule rather than the exception is not backed by any evidence. He said ongoing surveys of gay men's sexual behaviour since 1997 show that most men use condoms with most of their partners. Dr. Parker admitted herself that there was no solid evidence to back her claims, only comments of gay men she had interviewed over several years.
Oh, that story makes me angry. And this week the Age really got stuck into poor old Senator Helen Coonan over the changes to superannuation legislation. And I'll read you something out of the Age, but basically Labor and the Democrats sort of ganged up together and slipped a little tad-on amendment to the legislation, recognising same-sex couples in who you leave your superannuation to. 27 years ago, Helen Cohen was a fiery young solicitor, shoulder to shoulder with the gay rights movement, demanding equal superannuation treatment for same-sex couples. Today, as Revenue Minister, she is in charge of superannuation, but she is holding out in the Senate against amendments that would finally give gay couples equality. Send those emails and letters to us at BentTV at Big Pond, is it?
Yes.
Yes, bigpond.com or at PO Box 6256, St Kilda Road Central 8008, or in fact, if this story makes you as angry as it does me, send one straight to your federal politician.
Okay, finally for something a little lighter, the 2004 Melbourne Queer Film Festival is opening their submissions to the public. So if you have a talent that you make short films, documentaries, experimental films, anything that would be of any consideration interesting to the lesbian, bisexual, transgender community, then we suggest that you actually submit your tapes
submit
through.
an entry, yeah, for sure.
If you guys want any more information on this, you can email info@melbournequeerfilm.com.au or visit the website at www.melbournefieldfilm. Try that again. www.melbournequeerfilm.com.au.
And don't forget Moist, not me, it's Women's Pool and Sauna Night, third Monday of each month at Wet on Wellington in Collingwood. It's a $20 entry, and that number is the same as Parliament, 9827 4999. Thank you very much for staying tuned to Q Weekly. This has been Q News. I'm Michael King and this is Beck, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, goodbye.
You're watching Ben TV. I'm Ernie Vare, and on Q Weekly tonight we'd like to welcome Laura from Maybe Baby. Hi Laura, how are you?
Hi Ernie, I'm great, thanks. How are you?
That's great, very well, thank you. So tell me about Maybe Baby.
Well, we're basically a social group for gay men and lesbians who are considering parenting, and we meet once a month at a cafe in Fitzroy and have dinner.
Oh great, and how did you start?
Well, last year I was reached a decision I wanted to have a child, and I went along to a group called Prospective Lesbian Parents, which is a fantastic group that meets once a month and gives information out about being a parent, lesbian parent, and I wanted to meet some men who are also interested in starting a family, and there's no real great way to do that in Melbourne unless you sort of advertise on the internet or advertise in the papers, and it's not a really ideal way to create to meet someone you want to create a family with.
Yeah.
It's not very personal, so
So you're getting a lot more personal contact out of your meetings, rather than worrying about who you're going to meet over the computer.
I just thought, in a sort of environment where there's a big group of people having dinner, it's much more laid back and friendly, and it's sort of creates a sort of focal point.
So is it a dinner type meeting that you're doing? Is that what you do primarily?
Yeah, it's really informal. We just meet at a cafe and have dinner, and we have had a speaker. We had Ruth McNair, who I think was in last week.
Yes, we had Ruth on.
Yeah,
yes, that's right.
She came along and spoke about the conference, and at the last meeting we had a couple of people who came and told us their personal stories about getting pregnant. It took them a year. So, they had some interesting things to say about fertility that they found out the hard way, sort of,
And you're getting large numbers at Maybe Baby?
Each month we've had about between 16 to 20 people, which is a really fantastic turnout, and there's about 70 people on the email list.
Oh, fantastic. So, you've recently had dinner with some guest speakers, and what's coming up next?
Well, we hope to have some more people coming on, probably some parents who have already, got kids and can talk about what it's like for them, and sort of share their experiences, because people that come along to the group are not just prospective parents, but they're also, from all different stages of the sort of process.
And how do you see the direction of Maybe Baby? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do with it?
Actually, I think there's a real forum for something to evolve out of this that's for guys, like our group's for men and women. But I've had there are a lot of guys out there who want to be dads and there's no real sort of organised group for them to get together. So I don't know, but there may be another group that evolves out of ours from that, if it keeps getting as bigger and bigger.
And you're part of the Rainbow Family Conference that's coming up as well. Is that
right?
That's
right.
Yeah.
Where I'm helping facilitate one of the workshops, Becoming a Mum, with the conveners of Prospective Lesbian Parents Group.
And that's on the 9th of August?
Yeah, Saturday the 9th of August.
Fantastic. So how do people get in contact with Maybe Baby? What do we need to do?
Well, we've got a website which has some really good information on it, and the address for that is www.maybebaby.org.au, and we've also got an email address which is maybebabymelbourne@yahoo.com.au.
Fantastic. And people can register to come to your meetings, do all that sort of stuff on the website?
Yeah, actually, we're really open. People can just turn up. If you know when the dinner's on, you can just come along.
Fantastic.
It's sort of, it's really informal, so...
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck with it all. I hope people out there have got something from the interview, and don't forget to contact Maybe Baby again. That address is maybebabymelbourne@yahoo.com.au, and the website address is www.maybebaby.org.au. Thank you again, Laura.
Thanks very much, Ernie.
Thanks for joining us. It's been
on.
wonderful having you.
Great.
Good luck with it. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to stay tuned to Q Weekly.
Tonight we're all dressed up and at the Australian AIDS Ball. We're going to be talking to some very special people, and I've never seen the Bent TV crew looking so gorgeous. So we're here at the Australian AIDS Ball. Why is the David Williams Fund an important cause for you?
Look, I think that AIDS and HIV is something that affects everybody, but for me personally, I've had friends who have either passed on or friends who currently have HIV. So for me, it's a very relevant charity to support. Yeah. But I guess also, it's important for people to realise that it's not just about the gay community. It is a disease that affects everybody, and I try and do my part to really support it as much as I can.
Well, I've been told by the organisers that's part of what this is about, to raise awareness that it doesn't just affect the gay community, it's about everyone.
Exactly, and it's something that everyone needs to be careful of. Safe sex is still very much an issue. I think that's being lost on a lot of young kids. There was so much media about safe sex a few years back, and now it seems that message has been lost. So hopefully if we can just raise the awareness again and just make it clear that it is something that everybody needs to take care of.
Well, and heterosexual women too, like it affects
exactly.
greatly.
Look, again, it's a universal thing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Katie.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Now it seems that I was just a dream. Now you left me behind. We used to be friends. I never thought it would come to an end.
I'm here with Tony Perrin at the Australian AIDS Ball.
Hi.
And you can tell a person who comes to these sort of things a lot when you know all the photographers. So you do come to these things. Why the Australian AIDS Ball?
I've always supported the cause. You know, when I released my record way back when, I had lots of support from the gay community, and you know, and it's just one of those issues in life that I think needs to be addressed and needs a lot of focus.
Exactly, and part of the aim tonight, I heard from the organisers, is that it's not just a gay disease anymore, and lots of people are being affected by it, heterosexual men and women and
well, you
everyone.
know, that's it. I think, you know, awareness is what it's all about, and I think when somebody like, you know, well, celebrities generally attend these things, then, you know, obviously it kind of hits the mainstream, and I think that's really important.
Brings attention to the cause.
Yeah.
Great, well that's a good thing. Thank you very much for coming, Tony.
Thank you very much.
When you're traveling with it.
All right, we're here with Vince and Jane, and tell us why this is an important cause for you guys.
Well, I've come as my very own AIDS rhythm tonight.
I know, you're looking very red, very AIDS themed.
Thank you very much. Oh, look, it's just something great to get behind, and we've actually had a lot of friends that have been touched, you know, by HIV or AIDS, and, you know, it's just a really nice thing to get behind, I reckon.
Yeah, there's so many great causes to get out there and be part of, and we felt this was a really important one as well. So.
And of course you've been involved with the movie
Walking on Water?
That was his big gay boy film.
Yeah,
so
that dealt with issues surrounding HIV?
That's right, yeah. Never talked about or forward in the film so much, but yeah, it was there in the background the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Well, great, thank you very much for coming out and supporting the David Williams Fund tonight.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Vanessa Wagner, you're looking lovely tonight.
Yes.
So why have you come along to the AIDS Ball?
Well,
is it
you know,
a cause close to your heart?
Yes, look, you know I've been HIV positive for 13 years now, and you know, that sort of, I guess, gives it a personal element. But I'm a charity slut, and I always have been, and I think it's time for us to barrack for the underdog. We live in a world that's become very corporate and very self-centred, and I think it's important for people to come out and not only show off their gorgeous gowns and whatnot, but to help other people who aren't quite so fortunate as ourselves.
So you're hoping for a bit of a handout from tonight then? Yeah.
A hand job, did you say?
No, of course I didn't.
Well, I've got sinusitis. My ears are a little blocked. What did you say?
So you're hoping to benefit from tonight then?
Well, personally, I'm not trying to benefit from tonight. I mean, obviously there's publicity involved and all this paparazzi. Co-hosting here with the gorgeous Paul. And look, the benefit will be when the funds are raised to go out there and help people right down there at ground level. So that's the idea, let's rake in the bucks.
Excellent. So carry it on further than tonight.
Yes, I think, you know, the balls are great, but if you can get out there and maybe do a little bit of charity work once a week, or, you know, just help someone off, even if it's an older person who's having trouble with their Zimmer frame stuck in a tram track, you know, anything's possible.
Excellent. Well, you're a very generous woman, Vanessa.
Am I? Thanks, darling.
Thank you very much for talking to
You're
us.
welcome.
Come on, sweetheart.
I better go on this arm because...
Turn around. Come on, give us a spin. See, that's what a night like this is all about, don't you think? Tom McFeely from The Peel.
Hi, how are you, love?
Look at you. You look so gorgeous.
Hello.
I love the way you Scottish gents dress up for an occasion like this.
But the difference tonight is I did have to put underwear. They did warn me before. I had to put underwear on just in case. It's a bit formal tonight.
Isn't that illegal under a kilt or something?
Yes, well, not until 10 o'clock. After 10 o'clock you can do what I like.
Great, but it's not just an excuse to dress up. It's an important cause, isn't it?
Oh, it's a very important cause. This is actually my virgin AIDS ball. I've never been to one before.
Never been before?
Never been. I've never been able to get the time off.
Excellent.
I'm so looking forward to it.
Great, well I hope
You're
you
going
have
to come to my
fantastic
table
time.
and I'll get you a wee scotch?
Oh yes. Scotchman.
A wee scotch. I didn't say it was a drink, I just said to get you a wee bit of scotch.
Ha.
Thank you. Take care, love. Bye.
Bye-bye.
When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing, oh, makes me so fine, have to be my mind, sexual healing is something that good for me.
Talking to Ken
Hello.
What are you doing at the Australian AIDS Ball?
Well, I'm performing tonight. I'm actually in the closing act. Ta-da!
Isn't that a beautiful segue?
I was very honored when they asked. So.
Yeah, that's lovely. And so AIDS is a cause important to your heart?
Oh, it's very important to my heart. I no longer can count on both hands how many of my friends that I've lost to this horrible disease. And you know, I'm so glad to see that this is just not the gay community, but every community here tonight, because this isn't it's not a gay disease. It's an everybody disease, and we all need to come together, and I'm glad that everybody has.
And so many people, including yourselves, have been touched by it on a very personal level.
Yes, hugely, you know, and the more that we can do, and the more that we can contribute to help find, you know, a cure for this disease is the most that anybody can do.
Which is, of course, why you said yes.
Standing on the edge of nowhere. There's only one way out. So your heart's gotta go there. Through the darkest nights, you'll see the light shine bright. When heroes fall in love or war, they live forever.
The Australian AIDS Ball. Richard Squires put the whole thing together. Very impressed, and it's all for the David Williams Fund. That's the fund, the Victorian Fund, which buys food vouchers for people in poverty with HIV and AIDS. Ben TV, great organisation, part of Channel 39 sector groups.